But let's just assume that it's looking like Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. What happens now? Like, now what?
Off the top, for the last 16 years, both George W. Bush and President Obama, in some ways for very different reasons, accrued enormous power to the presidency, more so than at any point probably in our history, except for Abraham Lincoln in the Civil War. And Donald Trump, who has proven himself in the campaign to not have, in my view, the temperament necessary to be in such an important position, will have enormous power when it comes to our trade agreements, when it comes to our military, what he decides to do, even though he's campaigned in part on sort of not engaging in the world in some respects. It's a very scary proposition because the president has enormous power in our system at this point, and Congress has allowed that. And the Congress looks like it's going to be in the hands of the Republicans, so the Republicans will have all branches of government. This is really extraordinary. I mean, I had started writing a column for tomorrow about Hillary winning because that's what I thought was going to happen, and sort of looking at what Republicans ought to do from here. This is the new Republican Party. I think there's a lot of Republicans who don't want to be part of that party, to be honest with you. I mean, that's my sense.
So what I mean, I know you're not a future, you can't read it, you're not a fortune teller. So then then what would happen potentially? I nothing is fact, and I don't want you to feel like I'm putting you on the spot to fact. Potentially, what could possibly happen when you say that, Republicans might not want to be a part of that party? Do they step down from office? Do they, what could potentially happen?
Well, I mean, it's extraordinary that you had no living Republican president, so both Bushes. Mitt Romney wouldn't endorse him. The governor of Ohio, who had the convention, wouldn't go to the convention. He's a Republican. There are a number of people who sort of stood against him, and it's even more true for conservative intellectuals who really opposed him. Magazines like the National Review and the Weekly Standard were very tough against Trump. And now he's going to be the president, and usually people like to sort of go with the winner, but there are really serious principal issues. But it's also a bit deeper than that. It's more than politics. And I'm just thinking here kind of out loud because I did not think this was going to happen. This is about a guy who divides us and deliberately would say that the most vulnerable citizens, people who are undocumented workers, kind of saying that they were all criminals and making their lives even harder. And it's things like that which just go against my sense of decency, and I think a lot of other Americans. What's amazing is that he won this election. I thought that was going to alienate so many people, and he won this election, which is just, I think that maybe they looked at things. I'd like to hear from Gerald Moody, who is being called the co-Hostradamus on Twitter.
Yes.
He saw something again that nobody else saw. Like, all the pros did not see this. Everybody thought that Hillary's going to, get this thing easy. And that was like this morning people were saying that. So I'm flabbergasted.
The floor is yours, Mr. Moody.
I saw it because of the sentiment that he could tap into through the Rust Belt and all the people from Ohio and those hardworking folk that felt shunned. And I thought that he tapped into that, and I thought that he would win based on that and just telling it like it is, which is the catchphrase. So I thought that if he would galvanize that group, there's no way he wouldn't win. And this is what seemingly has happened.